He didn't call ahead. He just showed up like a storm stuffed into a rented bulldozer, wearing that smug grin people get when they think they're doing the world a favor. The first hit blew out the east wall. By the third, the rafters, those same beams my father and I had lifted together with our own hands, snapped like dry twigs. He called it cleaning up, muttering something about how real men don't hide in sheds. But that wasn't a shed. It was the last thing my father ever built. And it definitely wasn't his sister's land. It was mine, just like his bankruptcy is now mine to thank him for. He was one of those men whose identity came from noise and bulk, louder voice, bigger truck, wider stance at every barbecue, always needing more space than anyone offered. I tolerated him for my wife's sake. Back then, I still believed family meant biting your tongue. Even when he mocked my woodworking, my handmade furniture crafted with joinery, patience, and heart. He'd laugh, and my wife would give that tight, awkward chuckle. I'd tell myself to ignore it. But then he crossed a line so deep there was no returning. 5 years ago, cancer took my father fast and brutally. He'd been working on a walnut tool chest, perfect dovetail joints, so clean you'd swear a precision machine cut them. After the funeral, I went into the workshop we built together and finished it. It took me 3 months. Every night, I sanded the wood until my tears dried on the grain. That workshop was him. Every scratch, every mark, every scent of sawdust and oil. And my wife's brother flattened it, called it reclaiming space. I didn't storm up the hill, didn't shout. I just sat in my car down the slope, camera rolling. It all started 2 months before. An electric bill came addressed to my wife. Strange, since I'd always handled the utilities. After digging around, I found the mistake, an old clerical error from when we married. The bills went under her name by accident. But the land? The deed purchased 2 years before I even met her? That was in my name. When I asked why her brother was suddenly wandering the back lot, she mumbled something about me spending too much time out there. She wouldn't look at me. I didn't push further. I simply opened a new folder on my computer and named it Burn Down. Then I called my lawyer, Mr. Heron, a quiet, soft-spoken man who transforms into a predator the moment paperwork hits the table. We started preparing. Step 1. Hire a drone company for a full 3D mapping of the property. The workshop sat 10 feet within my boundary. Everything notarized. Step 2. Catalog every item inside, machines, cabinets, tools, with photos, serial numbers, receipts, and appraisals from 2 experts. Step 3. Track down the bulldozer rental agreement. A friend at the rental yard helped. A copy of the contract appeared in my inbox, signed by the idiot himself, license number included. Step 4. Stay absolutely silent. On demolition day, I let him show off. Let him record his triumphant speech about taking back the backyard and starting a real family. That video became Exhibit A. 3 days later, he was served. Property destruction. Trespassing. Malicious intent. Damages totaling $138,700. He laughed, called me petty, said no judge would care. His laughter didn't survive the deposition. He kept chanting my sister's land, like repetition could make it true. That's when Heron slid the deed across the table, my name stamped clear as sunrise. Then came the drone scans, the surveyor's report, the itemized inventory, the insurance documentation, the bulldozer contract, and finally his own video. Every piece landed like a nail sealing his own coffin. Then Heron placed a photo in front of him, a picture of my father and me, covered in sawdust, beaming in front of the workshop he destroyed. His lawyer leaned in, whispered something, and all the color drained from his face. That's when he finally understood. The judge ruled entirely in my favor, damages and all legal fees. He appealed. He failed. 6 months later, repo trucks pulled away his precious pickup. His boat went next. Then his home. He and his wife ended up renting 2 towns over. His credit wrecked. His reputation, once loud and obnoxious, reduced to embarrassed murmurs. As for my wife, she walked out, said I cared more about a building than her family. But she was wrong. I cared about truth, about respect, About the last piece of my father she allowed her brother to destroy while she stayed silent. So I stayed just as silent when she left. I rebuilt. Not the same structure, something quieter, tucked deeper into the lot, hidden by trees. No driveway. No signs. Just peace and locked doors. Inside sits a new workbench, and on it a walnut chest, dovetail joints cut entirely by hand. The top drawer holds a copy of the court ruling, and beneath it, that photo of my father and me smiling in front of the first workshop. He thought he broke something. What he really did was bury himself. Revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes it dresses neatly, keeps records, and cuts like a scalpel, sharp, precise, and silent enough to echo for a lifetime.